Hello and welcome. We're out at Smurfwood Trails in Canton, Missouri today. Gotta love how the trees are dancing for us. Apologize for the video quality. My main camera for some reason just was not cooperative. The 20-minute video turned into a 5-minute unusable video where everything is just extremely fast. I can't seem to fix that. So, we're going to run Trail 1 today. At least the sky isn't dancing. And we'll see how it goes. I ran the first part of this trail. About 90% of what I could do. I'm not willing to have on video if I screw up. And sometimes I do. I have some problems with my thumb, so you'll notice I run the first part of Trail 1 fairly quickly, and then there's a significant decrease in speed, and that's because I was using my index finger to index the throttle. Sorry. It is what it is. But I still had fun. That thumb just gets to hurting so badly, and then I have no sensation of throttle pressure. You'll notice several times in the video that my thumb slides off the throttle. Even in this early part, it's very difficult to manipulate the throttle with your index finger. Now you'll notice I'm choosing my line carefully, and I am leaning into this. The camera is mounted to the frame of the bike, so even when the bike is still, if the engine's running, the camera shakes a little bit. In fact, the whole bike shakes a little bit. This may be faster of a ride than a lot of people would be willing to do, and that's fine. Certainly the people I've encountered on the trail usually aren't willing to run at this speed, and some of them, their equipment won't do it for one reason or another. There are other people out on the trail today, but mostly not on the same trail at the same time and same place as when I'm there. And I prefer it that way. I'm sure they do as well. It's nice to just be out there and do your own thing. The weather was just excellent. It's not too hot, not too cool, not raining. Now the trail is very dry. There's a lot of loose dirt, so sometimes you'll see I slide. A couple times I two-wheeled the bike. I think that a lot of times I two-wheeled the bike. In loose dirt, sometimes you see the front end doesn't want to accelerate or even maintain the speed that the back end, where the power is coming from, is trying to deliver. So sometimes the bike gets a little squirrely. That's just one of those things to be expected. Now, I enjoy riding. I do. I enjoy the relationship between man and machine, where I'm going out there and I am giving it the opportunity to demonstrate what it can do. And this machine is very capable. Maybe a little underpowered for my likes, but it's great for running trails. It is the Polaris Trail Boss 330, and it is excellent on the trails. So I do not want to take away from that. I really enjoy riding this bike on the trails. It's very easy to maneuver, as you can see in other videos. I've ridden it one-handed while taking the video, holding the camera with the other hand. One of the most enjoyable parts about riding is hearing the engine through the exhaust. Hearing how it's responding. I mean, that's like it talking to you, saying, yes, I'm happy, this is good for me, or something's not right. one other thing that happened partway through this trail. I don't know if you'll be able to notice it in the video. My upper steering shaft bushing, I think, gave up on me. So the steering's a little bit loose. There are a lot of different options on these trails. In some cases, you can take little side paths that go through like a mud pit, or maybe a different bridge or a different width of the trail, depending on your equipment and what you want to do. Now, I generally don't do the mud pits. I don't want to get myself and my bike all dirty because I don't like the cleanup. I don't want mud in my truck for sure. So you'll notice sometimes I take one trail and there might have been another option, all those little side paths. Sometimes they're for ATVs and things. There's some great little small jumps here on Trail 1. Someone who's here. Now I'm getting a little air for you here. And don't worry, we'll get some more air later. Again, I don't want to push it too far because if I screw up, I don't want one video for everyone to see. Have enough of that as is. There are a lot of bridges out at Smurfwood. That's one of the things that Smurfwood Trails is known for. The guy, Papa Smurf, who runs the place, is pretty proud of his bridges, his trails, and he should be. They have laws about what you can do in some places that dictate what he has been able to do with his trails because he doesn't want to get fined. As you'll see later, the creeks are pretty dry, just like the corn here. Of course, the other crop you see here is soybeans. So here's a creek crossing. You can cross the creek, but even if there were water in it, you're not allowed to ride up and down the creek. That's like a $10,000 fine, apparently. So yeah, let's not do that. I'm running the whole of Trail 1 here. I do have other videos where I break it down, do a first part and a second part. Here's another trail crossing. You can see just how dry it is. There's two options here. There's this route I chose. It goes up these 3 steep hills, and there's another not quite as severe route that I take in another video. It's really neat, the different types of terrain here. You know, you've got more open area, you've got forest, you've got a little bit of creek crossing, you've got different soil types, including clay, you've got rock, you know, just all kinds of different things. There's various challenges from rocks to logs and things that you have to encounter and conquer as part of riding the trail. And of course, they're no problem for any reasonable ATV. They're just different terrain. Each bridge has its own challenges. You know, some of them are the angle at the bridge in relation to the trail, others of them are the width of the bridge or the surface. You can see the owner is trying to maintain the trail in various places. He's added fill, either dirt or rock, or you know, he may have put logs, or in the case of just back there, some rubber mats down. There's other things he uses. Sometimes it's roofing shingles or some kind of wire mesh of one sort or another. Great. Signs in the creeks you can see. You know, he wants to make sure you're not destroying things. There's some more rubber mats. Their bridge, obviously. I usually run the trails 2 to 3 times in a given visit. I don't really take breaks between the trails. I just run them back to back. And since I don't do this a whole lot and my daily activities aren't that strenuous, my arms tire eventually. So when that happens, or my thumb wears out, obviously it's time to go. Trails are marked, the tunnels are labeled. They have really cool names in here, things like Honeybee Pass, or Papa Smurf Mud Pit, or it could be Black Bridge, or Railroad Bridge, or Firehouse Bridge, or whatever it is. And some of those are not on this trail. Those things could be on other trails. I'm just giving examples. Considerably backed off in speed already, you can see. Just I've got to use my index finger to help the throttle. Otherwise we go nowhere. And likely my time of riding is coming to an end just because I can't manipulate the throttle. There's just so much pain involved. But hey, I'll enjoy it while I can still do it. See the bike sliding a good bit. That's fine, that's part of the fun of doing this. Without the ATV I would not be going down these trails. Just what's the fun in it? There'd be a lot of distance. These trails are miles long. I think this particular trail is about 8 miles long. A little shorter than that, but about that. Now I get a good bit of sun riding these. Of course, it's best to wear long sleeves, a helmet, and gloves. You want to have your protection from the various risks from sun to there's cobwebs, and sometimes there'll be like sticker branches across the trail or something. Sometimes there's rocks and things that are thrown up, mud, whatever. This trail is probably the most technical of the trails at Smurfwood. Each trail has different challenges. Sometimes one of the challenges is the length. So this is one of the longer trails. There's a very short trail, and you can even shorten that quite a bit. And you can shorten trails 1 and 2, this being trail 1. You can shorten them as well, as I'll show in some other videos. At this point I'm pretty much just cruising along. And that's okay. I can still enjoy the ride at this speed. Enjoy all the different challenges, having to choose a line, things like that. It's such a joy to drive these trails with all the varied terrain. And the owner has quite a sense of humor. with some of his signage. The scenery's fine also, but I don't know that anyone would choose to ride this for the scenery. The scenery's more like just there. It's part of the experience, but it's not. Oop, I almost two-wheeled the bike there. It just would not turn. It happens. The scenery's not anything to write home about. Nothing like that. I wouldn't take this as a nature trail. Another alternate route. I believe Trail 1 has a total of 3 creek crossings, so yeah, different points in the trail. Trail 1 includes straightaways, obviously a lot of curves. You can see I was playing around with some of the trail options there. There's flat areas, hilly areas, areas that give you off-camber turn, all kinds of things, obviously bridges. Now there are some challenging things I'm not taking. I wasn't sure where to go here because it says UTVs and I'm not riding a UTV. So, since I don't remember how things went, I ended up going up here and riding down one of the hills instead of up. And that's fine, no big deal. Alright, off to the left we go. Follow where it says to go with the UTVs. No worries. Not only the video, but the audio is better with the other camera as well. It's supposed to be, but for some reason, the battery, I put a longer life battery in there, and I took several videos on this day, and all the ones I took with the long life battery were unusable. And it's soybeans to the left. I apologize, I dropped some words like the frequently. And I guess if you're in person you hear them, but they don't come out on video. We'll go the straightaway here. See some rock. There's so many different types of terrain that you encounter. Well, there's a lot of ponds and other water features here. You're not allowed to ride on the dams. There are a few rules, but nothing too bad. It's generally everything for everyone's safety and to keep the place so it can be continued to be used like this. Obviously, if people break the rules, then he'll close it to the public. Our bridge. And quick crossing. Now we're getting close to the end here. And I always give it a good show at the end. So do we get some more jumps in, catch some air. So here we go. Let's see, I'm getting a couple seconds in the air. And jumps this back off the upper parking lot.